You're laughing. Scrounging Goblin finally has good search targets, and you're laughing. Hello, hello. It looks like Rada has once again predicted the future or forced Konami's hand by releasing a video about Goblin lore, as Konami have now announced a full Goblin archetype. We've been drip-fed individual cards for these over the years, and now we get an actual fully fledged Goblin deck that synergizes in no way with any of the existing Goblin cards in the game, but can still search them. So let's have a quick look through, and then I'm going to show you some quick combos. This deck actually seems really competent. It's one of the first times in a while I've looked at the first wave of a deck and gone, damn, I don't really care about wave 2. Wave 1 actually looks good. So let's have a scroll through. We've got our normal summon, of course, in Doug the Assaulter. This lets us... It's basically Time Thief Winder. It can detach from an Xyz, but it can detach from an Xyz on either field, and summon itself, and then if it's normal special, you can add a Goblin Rider spell or trap. And it's a level 3, so this is going to be a rank 3 deck. Clutter is our revival. If he's normal special, he revives any Goblin monster from graveyard, and during the opponent's turn, it's a quick effect, he can detach a material from anywhere on the field and special himself with banish when he leaves the field. He is a Beast Warrior. First one is a Warrior, so we have Rota and Tanky targets here. We have Boon the Max Speed, a Wind Warrior, so another Rota target, and during the main phase, as a quick effect in the hand or grave, we can special him by detaching a material from monster on the field, and then we can't summon him until 2 turns from now. So it's another Mirror Jade kind of effect that you have to use every 2 turns, but if this is negated, you can actually use it again, because it applies as part of the effect. So there are situations where you'll be able to use this multiple times a turn, and there's no real way to negate this and have it actually work. So that's pretty cool. This is really, really good into matches like Purely, where you can just start your turn with detaching the Purely monster from your opponent's Noir, and that Noir no longer has a quick effect. Detaching materials doesn't affect monsters, so these can all detach from Purely stuff completely safely, and they won't be protected from it. So this is really, really good with a matchup into that already. And we have another main deck monster in Meander. This lets a special one from hand. It's our basically upgraded version of Goldberg, and it can detach a material to summon itself in the same way as our quick effect one, but in our turn instead of our opponent's. Our first Xyz is crazy. Actually crazy. Rank 3 generic. Adds a Goblin on summon. If a material is detached from any monster on the field, just attach a monster on field to this material. Really, really powerful removal. You can trigger this on your turn or your opponent's, and your other cards can detach from this, and it also triggers off you detaching from your opponent's monsters, or you just using the effect of one of your own cards, similarly to Gigantic Sargus. And then we have a rank 6. Now you may be wondering, how do we make a rank 6 in this deck? Well, we'll see that in a moment. Goblin's Crazy Beast is a generic rank 6 with a once per duel effect on its third effect, which is an effect to summon itself and attach a material. Not bad, it's just a summon back, I guess. I don't know why that's once per duel, I guess they felt it was necessary. And the first effect is the crucial one though, a soft once per turn, a quick effect, detach 2 materials from anywhere on field, and attach a spell on field to it. Really, really strong actually into a lot of matchups. And again, especially into something like Purely. Purely's like the big main example I can come up with here. You can attach My Friend or the field spell, and detach from the monster in the process. It really, really limits their plays. I feel like Purely can't really win against this deck. But yeah, that's probably why you would be summoning this, but there's some other rank 6s you could make instead, of course. I don't think Beatrice would be playable in here, but Wallow or Evil Soul Lars would probably be pretty good. And then we have our first spell with Continuous Grand Gathering. Gives us an additional normal summon, and it can target 2 goblins to either make them become the same level or add their levels together. So you can use this to make a rank 6, basically, such as Crazy Beast. Theoretically, you could summon some other goblins to make rank 4s or rank 7s by combining 3 and 4. Or like go Unexpected Die for Goblin Calligrapher for a level 1 to maybe make a rank 1 or rank 4 by combining. But I don't think that's really worth it, but that is something you could theoretically do. Memento Goblin, coming out in the new deck build pack, is also a level 1 and is a goblin, so it is searchable off these effects. I don't think there's really any synergy with Memento and Goblin, but you could try it. You could try that out. And then we have the card confirming that this is Devel Star lore, which I'm very happy about. Our Rota, it is just add a Goblin, and then we can detach to special any Goblin from hand. Very, very strong effect. Even just the Rota is really good, and it has a second effect to just add back from grave as well, and you could do that on the same turn as well. Really, really, really strong card for a Rota. And then we have the Trap, Goblin Rider Stampede. with only one effect per turn, which is unfortunate, but it's a continuous. It is an imperm, which is fine. An imperm if you control Nick and then during your turn, your opponent's turn, maybe if you haven't used the negate or whatever, you can make Z summon. I don't think that effect's going to really come up, but it doesn't force you to make a Goblin Exceed. You can make any rank 3. I don't think there's really any rank 3s you want to make the opponent's turn, maybe like a Shuriken or something. From my testing, you can put a lot of monster on field in your opponent's turn with this deck. I'm just not sure how much that effect's going to come up. You're mainly just playing it for the imperm effect. Alright, let me show you a quick deck list. I've cooked a pretty pure list, and I'll show you some combos. Alright, so here's a quick day 1 list. So it's pretty pure, pretty just focusing on showing you what this engine can do with a couple of minor additions. So we're just playing, you know, generic staples and stuff. We're playing Thrust in here. We're just playing 3 very monsters at the minute. These are probably going to change, but I just need to really figure out exactly what the ratios need to be, so that's what's left for now. But we're playing a single copy of TG Warwolf. It's a free level 3 extender, and we can add it off Tenki. We only have the one target for Tenki, so it's entirely possible you just cut these entire thing and play something else. But I feel like you need the additional sender sometimes, so it's pretty nice to have that access. Playing Tour Guide. Now, Tour Guide is your best starter for this deck, I think. Absolutely crazy card, and I'll demonstrate that. Very, very cool to see Tour Guide seeing a lot of play again. I think you absolutely need to play this. Playing, yeah, 3 of the small trap, 3 of the thing. You only want to search 1 of the trap, so yeah. Yeah, it's pretty simple core and everything. We're playing Rhoda because we have 2 warriors. So looking at the extract, we're just playing, we're playing Cherubini because we can pretty easily make it, and then we can send something to be summoned back with Clutter. I don't think it's something you're going to be doing that often, but there isn't a huge variety of stuff you can actually play in this extract, maybe more rank 3s or 6s, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. I've actually found you can get a lot of link material down in your opponent's turn, so you could theoretically IP into something like Goddess or Apo, but I think probably you're just going to be going for the Little Knight. We're playing just a bunch of generics with Wallow, good rank 6, Breaksword, pretty good rank 3, and theoretically you could play this with a PK sort of engine. Playing UDF, of course, Fortune Tune to make Zeus, 1 of the Crazy Beast, and 3 Goblin Rider. I feel like you do need 3 of this. A Downward for Zeus, and a Shuriken as a monster negate. You could maybe play Gossip Shadow instead of this, but I kind of prefer the negation outright than the drawing, and this can theoretically help you OTK. But I don't think this is the greatest card in the extra. It probably would be cut if you had something better, but we don't really. But yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. But let's skip to some combos real quick. So for this combo, all we're gonna need is Tour Guide. Right. So we're gonna go with normal summon Tour Guide effect, of course, and we're going to get from deck our Meander, which is a fiend. We're going to overlay and summon out our big head in a tap position. We'll get his effect, which lets us add any goblin from our deck to our hand, which we'll use to add the Dog the Assaulter. We'll use the effect of Dog the Assaulter to summon itself by detaching Meander. And then on summon, we'll get his effect to add a spell trap from hand. And we can get a couple of things here, but we're going to go for Rand Gathering here. We're going to use the effect of Meander to detach Tour Guide and summon herself. Now, if you have any extender in hand here, the effect of Meander to summon one from hand is live here. So you could theoretically do some other stuff here, but this is just with the Tour Guide. We can play our Ground Gathering to adjust the levels. We could just make a rank 3 here, but we can adjust the levels here and make a rank 6 and summon out our Crazy Beast. So just by default, normal summon Tour Guide makes Gabonga plus Crazy Beast. We have our interaction live, as this attaches a Goblin in the end phase, and we don't have any like quick fetching live in the grave, but we do have, at the very minimum, we can use Crazy Beast and Gabonga. Even if our opponent doesn't play a spell trap, we can attach our own Goblin Riders. We can attach our own Grand Gathering to the Crazy Beast to trigger the effect to get a negate. So bare minimum, this is a negate, and usually we'll be able to remove an opponent's spell trap and negate something. And these can't be destroyed by card effects because you have a not once per turn protection on that. They've actually got the text wrong here. This is not what this card's restriction is, so just ignore that on here. They've got that written down wrong on the original page. It is that the last effect is once per duel and the rest are not once per turn. And sure, let's suppose this is Tenki here, whatever, right? That doesn't really matter. We'll go, you know, Tour Guide and Tenki, and we're gonna summon... We're gonna add with the Tenki the Flutter, and we're gonna get the Meander with the Tour Guide. Same as before. Overlay. Make our big head effect. Get the dog. Summon the dog by detaching the Meander. Add the rotor. I'm gonna activate our rotor. And we will add the boon. We're gonna use the thing to detach to summon the boon from hand. Then we're gonna overlay. Gonna make our breaksword. We're gonna detach because we're going to overlay here for a UDF. Then we're gonna use the effect of Meander in the Grave, detaching our goblin here. And then we can Meander, summon from hand to summon Clutter. Clutter effect, bring back the Gabonga, because it can revive any goblin monster. And then we still have the effect of Boon Life at the opponent's turn. We're not going to use that here. We're going to either, we can overlay for another rank 3, which I don't think we really need to do. So what we're going to do here is simply link 2 into IP. Anti-alive in the end phase with the effect of Clutter, which can bring back our dog, and add a card, and that gives us 2 materials for IP into various stuff. And we also have Boon as a quick effect to trigger the Gabonga or such. So we have 2 ways of triggering Gabonga. We have 3 ways of triggering Gabonga with our Trigger Future, and we have a way of getting a search, and we can make an SP during our opponent's turn. And that's all off of normal Summon Tour Guide, plus any access to Clutter or to Doug. Alright, but what can this deck do with just Engine? So, let's talk about Meander, probably your normal combo sort of starter. Unfortunately, a lot of the combos here are going to be 2 card combos, but it should be pretty much impossible for you to not open 2 monsters here. So we'll go with Meander here. We're going to go with normal summon Meander and special summon anything from hand. This can just be any Goblin Rider. And then we're going to do our overlay. Get our Gabonga. Then Gabonga effect. Can use to add the Doug. Doug detach the Meander. Doug effect. Gonna get us again. This is basically the same point we were with the tour guide. It just means we have to open the Meander to begin with, and we have to use the Meander effect. We can extend more with tour guide. This just gives us more we can do. Basically, this just gives us a bit less options, but it's pretty similar sort of situation. So here we're probably gonna get the Grand Entrance. Use the Grand Entrance to search. And we're probably going to add whatever we're missing here. So we'll get Boon. We'll detach the Clutter. Summon the Boon. So ideally here this would be, you know, something other than Clutter or whatever. But this is probably the worst one you can open, which is why I'm demonstrating it like that. Summon the Boon. Overlay. Probably gonna make something like we did before. Make the breaksword. And then overlay again. And I'm just not going to remove because we're going to detach this to bring back the Meander. We can actually then detach again to summon this. It means we can't summon in the opponent's turn, but at least gives us an overlay. And then we can make another copy of Gabonga, or we can make any other rank 3. Or make the SP to then bring back Clutter. In fact, yeah, that's what we'll do. We won't link these off into the IP. And then our opponent's turn, we get to go bring back Clutter in the main phase. Clutter effect can either bring back Assaulter, but we want to bring back the Gabonga here. Then get to link these off for our SP. And we also have Gabonga live. If we you haven't used our Draco Future yet. We can't unfortunately use the Boon effect because it's once every 2 turns. But yeah, that's what you get off of just your normal extenders. So that's your sort of day 1 combos for this deck. It's a little linear at the moment. I think the main advantages you have here are board breaking into Xyz decks, as well as just the pretty consistent access to a bunch of these things. You're not making a big, powerful end board, but there's a lot of interaction there, and it's pretty recoverable. It does a lot of, you know, It does a lot of recycling, and it does a lot of easy access to everything. We'll probably find some way to play this with some broken engine. I've seen already people trying cash with this, with Fenrir, and summoning, you know, or playing an adventure engine. I'm not really sure how that holds up. But yeah, there's a bunch of things you can try in this. I think these will probably cut down and be a smaller engine with some secondary engine included. But maybe the second wave next set is even more crazy, but we gotta think about just the first set for now, and these do look really, really solid. Personally though, I can't wait until someone breaks Zombie Goblin by searching Goblin Zombie.